So I'm sitting here in front of the computer and just kind of looking up some news and reading through articles and stuff, and I see one headline that reads that a hotel manager was beheaded in Texas, and that's obviously a little bit shocking, and that comes after just a little bit of a search that takes like 2 seconds, and this is after, of course, you've seen the horrible assassination in recent days of a political figure, and not just hearing about it, but actually the shock and the cringe of being able to see that in the whole world is really, that's just something that didn't happen back in the days, and that's just something that I'm not sure people are really able to process. And you actually look at stuff like social media, it's all filled with all types of strange content, and with the advent of the cameras nowadays, it's like we're just thrown all this information and all this kind of gruesome stuff in a flash of a pan, and it's hard to comprehend. And I think this is where we've kind of damaged a lot of people's brains in a way, because they're overwhelmed with so much, sometimes positive, yes, but a lot of negative information in like 2 seconds, and they can just get access to all this at an instant to see things that nobody would ever see before, or very few people would ever see in their lifetime. And this sort of desensitizes us and probably makes us worse in the long run. And it just makes me think like what it must have been like before kind of the internet, and if people were a little more, I guess, sensitized back in the day when stuff happens. I mean, it's very just weird. And it's funny because I do feel like as much hate as a lot of younger people have always gotten for being sensitive, it's like when you're a 12-year-old and log on to Call of Duty, a lot of what we play here on this channel, you can get on and a lot of times you might get told to off yourself more times than one before the night's over. And if you were somebody that grew up before that, before video games and the internet, you're probably never going to hear that in your entire life, if maybe like one time that somebody would be that cruel to ever say that to you. But that is the mask that we have now online, basically, to where people can just be as angry as they want. You can see anything that you want to at any time, and it's definitely fried us a little bit. I think it's made it more important than ever to kind of get out and see if you can make friends in real life, see if you can, I guess, connect with people in social circles and just make that kind of social connection so you don't drive yourself crazy in always consuming this, because I don't think the human mind was really made to kind of comprehend all the information that we can see now, especially with, again, the negative conversation that people can have. I mean, what do you do if you're that 12-year-old after you're told to off yourself? Like, what are you supposed to do with that? I mean, that didn't happen to your parents. Like, now, you know, of course, it's like, whatever. I mean, nobody's ever going to really follow up on that, and it's just an idiot over the game, and if you're an older person, you kind of just have it roll off your shoulder. But it's that kind of stuff that really can destroy the mind and can, especially as a young person, shape you and make you think differently, I think. And we just get more and more desensitized to stuff, and it makes it very strange to think how we'll move forward eventually. And if there ever be another time to where we can kind of get, I believe, like good social interaction back to maybe counter all the information you have access to at all times. And it's just overwhelming, again, to the human mind to have all this at you at one time. And it's something that I've talked about in other videos, but like you can get any bit of information about anything at any time and kind of form any opinion or argument on anything at any time. And it just makes it very easy to think in so many different ways and opens up so many different avenues that it just must have been a lot more simple back in the day when you kind of had to communicate everything in person. So I'm hoping moving forward we can somehow kind of prevent this from getting worse, prevent people from getting more and more used to the crazy stuff that happens, because a lot of it is crazy and a lot of it is just, I don't know how to process it, and it's like, how can I even get this and then another crazy story or incident in half a second? It blows your mind. Whereas back in the day, again, information would come across so slow and be kind of told from one source, whereas now you can get a billion, and it really just makes you wonder how exactly we eventually rein this in so people can actually have at least a little bit more of a simplistic idea about something, and they don't have to be so overwhelmed and mostly overwhelmed with the negativity, because I think people seek that out more than the positivity, unfortunately. So that ends up being kind of what is headlined a lot. But just want to come on here and speak about kind of the overwhelming access to information and some of the thoughts about it. And I'm hoping, again, we can find a way to move forward in the best possible way, find a way to sort of counter this to a degree. Not that you shouldn't have access to that. I think it's also great that you have access to so many different perspectives and everything like that, and everybody has their speech out there, but you you do kind of want one way, I guess, to just make it less overwhelming and just not feel like I am getting desensitized to stuff and just getting my brain fried after seeing so much in such a short period of time. A little bit of a scramble for this video, but again, guys, check out the social medias on screen if you're interested. We're gonna have more videos out soon, of course, here on PM Games, and thank you so much to everybody that subscribed already and commented. I really appreciate the camaraderie in the community, and comment below too if you'd like me to discuss anything in a future video. But for now, guys, I am out.